The anime begins at the prestigious Suzaku High School, where rules were paramount. However, that didn't apply to all students. This is where our protagonist, Ryuu Yamada, comes in, a carefree student. The teacher was angry with him, and they argued in the staff room. He always disrespected the teacher. Urara Shiraishi interrupts the discussion and hands him the class book. She was a very diligent student, the opposite of Ryuu. Students whispered about him, he was always getting into trouble. High school was boring for the protagonist, and he wanted to have interesting experiences. Urara climbs the stairs, and the protagonist feels hatred towards her. He walks faster, not looking where he's going, and trips, causing both of them to fall down the stairs. The protagonist wakes up in the infirmary, thinking he had died. Something tragic happened. Ryuu became Urara, they switched bodies. The protagonist rushes to find his own body while Urara is in class peacefully. Her classmates are surprised. He wasn't known for being studious. Ryuu decides to talk to her privately, unable to understand how she can be calm after what happened. She also has no idea what's going on or why. She assumes they need to fall down the stairs again, as that's what led them to this situation in the first place. If you like my videos, you can support me by becoming a channel member, or you can donate me on Buy Me a Coffee. Your support will encourage me to make more videos. You can find links in the video description.
Yeah.
The protagonist proposes to Urara that they go to the stairs again, but she can't allow it. She had missed several classes due to fainting and needed to wait until classes were over. She also didn't want to live forever in his body, but the protagonist initiated the problem, so he had to accept her conditions. Ryuu has no choice but to wait. He takes the opportunity to explore Urara's body, doing things he shouldn't. The high school boys notice his strange behavior and flirt with him. Ryuu decides to play along and leaves. While alone, Rin Sasaki and her friends find Urara. Rin wants to talk to her and suggests having lunch together. The protagonist goes along with it and is surprised by the honorable girl's food. Ryuu acts like he's starving, and his classmates laugh. The girls have to prepare for the next class. Urara checks her notebooks. Someone wrote terrible things and filled her locker with trash. Rin wasn't her friend, she was harassing her. The protagonist understands what's happening and talks to Urara during the break. The girls are terrible, and Urara apologizes to him. She didn't want to expose him to those awful things. It's best to return to normal immediately. Ryuu watches her and finally understands why she's alone, all the things she hides. The treatment continues, and after class, they will return to normal. She has to go back to class, and the protagonist will make sure the girls won't bother Urara again once they return to normal. She gets angry about that. It will only make things worse. She sees Ryuu and Urara talking on the rooftop, and she asks what business he has with Ryuu. The protagonist can't contain his anger, tries to defend himself, and Urara intervenes, getting punched in the face. Rin is scared by what's happening. She hits him with great force and runs away. Classes have ended, and they go to the stairs. Urara confesses to the protagonist that she felt good seeing Rin running away. She thanks him. Urara is straightforward, and it's time to return to normal, or so they try. Can't return. They stumble several times, but things remain the same. Urara remembers they kissed when falling down the stairs. They have to try it. Urara takes the initiative. They kiss and manage to return to normal. Urara needs to study and leaves. Ryuu is enchanted by the kiss. A student from upstairs saw what happened. They decide to try it somewhere else, wanting to understand what's happening. Go to a park alone, kiss again, and switch bodies once more. Urara says they should keep it a secret and acts very calmly. The protagonist thinks she likes him. If the truth is discovered, they could have serious problems. Urara takes Ryuu's exams, and he eats like a hungry person. The boy who saw them on the stairs talks to the protagonist on the rooftop. He's going to have a date with Urara. Ryuu gets nervous and says he forgot about it. He heard rumors about her and Ryuu. It seems they get along well. The boys who flirted with her return and are very rude to her. The boy who was with Urara tries to defend her, but he gets beaten up. His name is Miyamura. The protagonist takes matters into his own hands, quickly beating up the three guys. They say they won't do him any more favors. Miyamura was pretending. He had seen that fighting style before. Also, she didn't have a date with him. He realizes it was Ryuu. The protagonist doesn't know what to do. Miyamura knows their secret. Urara arrives at that moment and gets informed about everything that's happening. Miyamura makes them a proposal. He offers them a classroom to switch bodies in, the Supernatural Studies Club. He's the only remaining member. It's about to close. They have to join the club to be able to use the room whenever they want. Miyamura wants to know if they've kissed other people. It was the first kiss for both of them. He thinks there might be a possibility of switching bodies by kissing other people. He tries to kiss Urara, but she doesn't want to. The protagonist also refuses, but Urara forces him, and they kiss and switch bodies, then return to normal. It appears the protagonist can switch bodies with the people he kisses. Miyamura plans to find a girl for the protagonist to kiss, but Urara doesn't want that. If it becomes public, they'll be in trouble. They decide to keep the secret and attend the club meetings occasionally in exchange for using the room to switch bodies whenever they want. Urara and Ryuu agree. A student hears them and wants to join the club. The boys are surprised and can't reject applicants. They have to accept her. The girl wants to know what supernatural events they're currently studying, but the club has just opened its doors, so they haven't had any events yet. The girl is enthusiastic about such things, very energetic. She's excited to join the club with them and goes back to class. Have no choice but to pretend since they can't tell her the truth. The girl returns with cleaning supplies and tells the protagonist to take out the trash after cleaning. He gets angry but has to do what she asks. He can't use the room with Urara there. They leave a notice on the wall. A group of students must score at least 80 on their exams. The protagonist asks Urara to take the exams for him, and she likes the idea. Plus, they haven't switched bodies in a while. Right before he kisses her, Ito opens the door. The protagonist continues helping her redecorate the room. Hours pass, but they can't switch bodies. He gets worried. Urara has to take her exams. Miyamura tells her to leave a registration note with the council so they can get more members. Ito leaves, and that should keep her busy. Classes are about to start, and they kiss. Just then, Ito returns and sees them. The council room is closed, so she returned quickly. She suspected something was up, as no one seemed interested in the supernatural or the club's activities. Ito gets angry and promises to get revenge on them. Several students are looking at an announcement saying he and Urara are together. The rumor about their kiss has spread throughout the school. Rin believes he's in love with her since he protected her. Ito is responsible for what's happening. She's angry at them for playing with her feelings. Urara is alone again. The protagonist talks to Ito in the club room, asking her to deny the rumors. He apologizes, but it's not enough. Ito tries to leave the room, but he stops her. She has to kiss him to be able to leave. Ryuu approaches and kisses her, and they switch bodies. The protagonist hits her very hard, leaving her unconscious in the room. He has to fix things. He denies the rumor that spread, but in reality, no one believed him. Once said there were extraterrestrials in the school, but no one believed his lies. All his efforts were in vain. He quickly returns to the room to switch bodies, but Ito isn't there. He tells his companions what's happening. The boys don't understand why students have distanced themselves from Urara. She had asked everyone to leave her to study in peace. They have to find her quickly. Ito is behaving very strangely with the protagonist's body all around the school. Miyamura had searched the whole school but didn't find her. It's best to meet up and discuss the situation. They check Ito's phone. They have to deliver money at 5 in the park. Otherwise, she'll be in trouble. Ito might be there. She had bought various supernatural things and was scammed. The bullies had beaten her up, and the protagonist goes to help her. The bullies want their money. He gives back their things to them, but she bought those things to become popular in school. The bullies grab the protagonist to beat him up, but they didn't know who they were dealing with. He puts them in their place quickly and manages to recover his body while Ito was unconscious. Later, they gather in the club room. Ito apologizes for the trouble she caused. Formally, she becomes part of the club. Ito is excited and experiments with the protagonist's powers. He can switch bodies even when in another body. They start kissing one after another, switching bodies several times. Meanwhile, in the student council, they see the boys' club registration form. The council is interested in their club. Nene Odagiri tells Yushio that she will be the next president, replacing Miyamura. Apparently, the chief of the council is plotting something and wants to teach them a lesson. Ito tries to get funds for the club from the president, so they can organize activities. However, he doesn't want to support them and always keeps her waiting. Ito gets furious. With funds, they could improve the club room. The boys are fine with how it is, but she wants to add a TV, a sofa, and other things. The idea appeals to the others. The protagonist wants a microwave. He loves eating all the time. With that in mind, he gets motivated to ask for funds personally. The protagonist goes to the council with Miyamura. He enters rudely and loudly asks the president for funds. Miyamura tries to smooth things over and explains that the president is harsh with guys but friendlier with girls. However, he rejected Ito's request. Ryuu tries to threaten, but the president evades the issue. They return to the club room, and the protagonist has a plan. They switch bodies, Ito with Miyamura, and the protagonist with Urara. They'll go negotiate with the girls' bodies. The boys go to talk to the president again, but it's no use. He knew the truth or suspected it. Seeing the girl's behavior confirmed his suspicions. Neither of them smelled like a girl to him. His nose was very sensitive. He wants to know the reason for their visit, accepts their request, but they have to solve a problem that worries the student council first. The top student in the school, Urara, doesn't plan on going to higher education. This affects the school's reputation. It's not due to family issues. Her family wants her to go to university. It's her decision. The president wants them to find out why she doesn't want to go and persuade her. The president will help them if they agree to the request. In a scene change, the protagonist tells Urara about his conversation with the president. She refuses. She can study on her own, and going to university isn't necessary. She apologizes to Ito and leaves. The boys can't convince Urara. They're talking outside the club room when Nene and Yushio approach. They try to annoy them and essentially declare war. Nene is competing with Miyamura for the president position and has a better chance if she can get Urara to go to university. Otherwise, her chances are slim. The protagonist realizes that when Miyamura visited the president, he had other plans, not what they thought. He wanted to help his classmate but also the council. Everyone's dreams could come true. Ryuu didn't want to get into a war with the council, but he can't back out easily. The protagonist changes his mind and decides to play the game. After classes, Urara wants to talk to the protagonist. She's acting very strange. They go to the club room and switch bodies. Urara is sick, and when they switch bodies, the protagonist gets affected. Urara mentions they need to do something, which is why they switched, and the boys think she wanted to keep studying and not stay at home. They decide to go to her house to investigate. Her house seems ordinary, and apparently, no one is home. They go to her room to investigate carefully and find something that might explain why she doesn't want to go to university. The protagonist gets the boys out of the house and decides to search alone. His fever is getting worse. He lies down on her bed, and Urara arrives, angry. The protagonist justifies himself, saying he left his body with a cold. She only wanted to hand in an assignment to one of the teachers. They kiss, and they return to normal. The protagonist stays talking with her in her room. Urara was always alone. The only thing she could do was study. She wanted to rest, so the protagonist apologizes and leaves. Urara had lied. She didn't switch bodies with Ryuu to hand in an assignment. She went somewhere else. The protagonist goes back, takes care of her while she's sick, and confesses that for a while, didn't want to attend the preparatory school. It seemed boring. Things started changing and became interesting. University could be the same. Ryuu would try to get into university and proposes to Urara to go together. She accepts with a smile on her face. Miyamura tells the president he has accepted and fulfills his part of the deal. The boys remodel their club. They have the microwave, and everyone is happy, except the protagonist, who caught Urara's cold. And that's the end of the video. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I will bring more excitement anime in the future. Thanks for watching, bye.